What's up, guys? Well, everybody, welcome to another. Thanks for the thumbs up already. I appreciate that. Welcome to another Sunday morning edition of Do More Life and our live chat. Who hadn't I said hello to yet? Pete, good to see you. Griffin, good to see you as always. Tim, now, Tim, I just sent your invite to the line group. And hopefully you figure it out on your computer. It's the same setup as it was on your phone. It just looks a little different. So I'm sure somebody will help you out, bud. And I'm glad you finally got to understand the app and get in the group. I can't wait to hear what you talk about. So anyway, thank you to all my, real quick, we're going to be talking about just some things to consider before you book your plane ticket or come for a long stay vacation or short stay vacation here in Thailand. If you're an expat coming to stay for a long time, we're going to talk about that in this video too. I'm just going to ask some questions. And Thailand Brad is in Patong right now doing the 7-day sandbox. Awesome, Thailand Brad. That's great. How's it going? I haven't been down there and seen the sandbox program, but I've heard some good stuff. Heard some, some questionable stuff, but I've heard some good stuff so far. So any information is greatly appreciated. Hello, Gregory. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. I'm still very happy for you and all your Australian friends down there that are finally getting a little bit of a break from the madness. If you wonder why there's so many shadows around me today, it's because it is really, really, really raining hard in Bangkok right now. And yeah, I can't see the street over out my window. So good thing we have good lighting here, right? But we're going to talk about those questions today. Thailand Brad says, yes, good, mate. Most places are open. Cool, good. Let me ask you, Brad, are the bars open in Phuket? That'd be a good question, a good answer for many people that come on this channel about the sandbox in Phuket. Are the bars open? That's been a question that we've been rotating around for quite some time here. So let us know. He says, yes, the bars are open, Thailand Brad says. Very interesting. Last question for Thailand Brad. Well, may not be my last question. I don't know. But are they serving alcohol? That's if the bars are open, surely they're serving alcohol, right? I would have to think so. They got to be serving alcohol. But just to confirm, Thailand Brad, could you enlighten us there? That would be great. Yes, of course. Okay. Thank you, Thailand Brad. You have been most helpful right out of the gate this morning. So there's some questions answered already. Appreciate you very much coming in, and that's kind of, I've never heard of you before, but welcome. And that's kind of what we do here is answer each other's questions and learn. Let me go back up. Okay. Let's see here. And I said, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, Robert, thank you for dropping the PayPal and the Cash App ID. That is for, I will pin it to the top. Thank you very much, sir. That is for contributions to the channel. They're not required, but the link is there. Should you so choose to contribute, travel fund and equipment, that's what money goes for. And I appreciate you guys that contributed yesterday very much. Thank you. Filto says, so looking forward to a winter day on the beach with an umbrella drink and a tray of citrus type fruits. Brother, that sounds great to me. And that is something you can look forward to when you come to Thailand, especially when they reopen. Thank you guys again for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. But they're really I think they're really trying hard to make sure that we reopen. Just as a little background information for anybody who might be new to in here, just so you know. I've been living in Thailand 3.5 years now. Um, I've been working in Thailand all but 6 weeks of that time. And what else did I want to say to you? Oh, a little summation. Yesterday we went over some of the things that could potentially go wrong. And we're going to kind of answer some of those questions today. I did a lot of reading and research for this live stream in particular because I wanted you guys to get the best information possible. And I just feel like I need to deliver that information to you. And I want to make sure, sorry, a little lighting issue there. I want to make sure that you guys understand one thing. Just understand this one thing, okay? Before you book your ticket to come to Thailand, I want you to come to Thailand. I want tourism to thrive and revive and rejuvenate the Thai economy. I want all the jobs to come back to Thailand. I want everybody to be super happy working, just amazing happy, right? I mean, I have 3 jobs and an internship. It's there's a lot to do here in Thailand. Okay, so that's a little bit about me, a little bit about Thailand, where we're at right now. But I want you to remember one thing. This is the one most important thing I want everybody to remember, and that is every single time Thailand has made a move toward reopening places, there's always been a lockdown that's followed of some kind, or there's always been massive restrictions put in place of some kind. In other words, they've always went backwards. Okay. So far, that hasn't happened with the sandbox program, and I hope it doesn't. The hope I have is in the vaccination rate here because it's dramatically improved. I've gotten my double. We talked about that yesterday. I'm neither pro nor against. I don't have one way or another. I'm a your body, your choice kind of person. That's just me. Just to give you a little background, but passes are being implemented. The Thailand pass is a real thing. We talked about that yesterday. It's going to be implemented. Basically, it looks like it's just going to have your vaccination information on it, your records for receiving vaccinations, and then a little too much personal information for me. You know, it's got but it's really depends on how you look at it, right? Because the Thailand pass that you'll need to get in is something they'll send to you via QR code. So it's set up to replace the certificate of entry, which seemed to be a cumbersome process for some, not so much for others. But it did seem to be kind of weird, the process of the COE. And there are many people in here that have done certificates of entry. And only one person that I know of is happy with the way it worked out. So this is a way for you to upload your documents, and Thailand approves them. They send you a QR code. So when you get off the plane, you got it in your phone, and you just scan it here. Now, this is going to include some kind of tracking and tracing. I don't know what the proposal is. It should include some type of tracking and tracing app. For those of you that don't know, if you're a foreigner and you come here, when you buy a SIM card or whatever, your SIM card is also attached to your passport. So I don't mean literally attached to your passport, but metaphorically attached to your passport, because they whatever the code is or number, whatever you call it on the SIM card, it's identified by your passport. So when you get off the plane and come here, if you want to buy a SIM card in Thailand, you got to have a passport, obviously, and then you got to put that passport. You got to take the passport and buy the SIM card. Okay, so when you get here, just know that everything you do is going to be monitored, or could be monitored, I should say, by Thai officials, Thai government, by government in general, and by different government associations. The Ministry of Health was very clear last week when it came out with its warning. It's kind of two-sided warning. There was I'm paraphrasing here, a quote from the minister or the director of the Ministry of Health, and he basically said that if we get a major outbreak or something like that, we'll lock it back down again. And at the same time, the initial plan here is to reopen 10 countries first. 10 countries that can come in quarantine free, all that stuff, for Thailand tourism, because Thailand tourism is going to bring Thailand, in my opinion, it's going to bring Thailand back from the brink of economic collapse. So we hope that tourism thrives here. We really, really do. But at the same time, that he said, we don't have any problem shutting it down. He also said that he feels like we should open up to more than 10 countries. So I don't really understand the logic behind that, and you will find that people use Thai logic, that phrase, as a joke when you come over here. Now, that's not to say anything, and I'll be clear again today for those of you that are in here today that weren't here yesterday. I'll be very clear. I love Thailand. Okay, I love Thailand. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. It truly is. It really is. It has been frustrating, of course, but it would have been more frustrating had I been back in my home country, America. I believe I would have gone through more frustration there, or if I'd been in Europe, or God forbid, I would have gone to Australia and got stuck there for some reason. So, yeah, being in Thailand has been very beneficial to my life in many ways. I've actually met some good people over here. Of course, there are some terrible human beings everywhere, but I've also I met some of them. But those are mostly in expats, not Thai citizens. The vast majority of Thai citizens I've met are just outstanding, wonderful human beings. So, that's just something to keep in mind when you think about coming over here. I'll try to keep it around the tourist and the long stay expat during this video, but I want to make sure that people understand coming over here. Even though you pay for everything, even though everything looks good in writing, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay that way. There are so many changes that happen over here so often to regulatory statutes or issues. There's red tape everywhere. There's proposals out there that people get confused on, that they think are law, that are not law. That I saw a comment in one of the groups this morning that said Thailand's going easy on people coming into Phuket. They're not really checking for your vaccine paperwork. You guys think I should come anyway? I assure you, immigration's checking, and I wouldn't come unless I met every requirement. And how do you find those requirements? You find those requirements by doing research. You can use some of the information here that we give. Also on this channel, I'm getting ready to get to comments in a second, guys. But you can use some of the information here that we're going to talk about today to help guide you. There are resources here. There are plenty of law firms in Bangkok that you can contact regarding your visa issues. The tourist visa right now, I believe they've gone back to 30-day stamps for the people that come in without having to quarantine. To the best of my knowledge, the proposed regulations will be kind of like this for what I'm getting ready to, it would be kind of like what I'm getting ready to say for fully vaccinated tourists. Okay. So as the proposal sits at the moment, it appears as though vaccinated tourists from the list of countries that Thailand produces will be able to come here. In fact, I think, didn't they move the number of countries up to 39, or they were proposing now 39 countries to reopen? I'm not 100% sure on that because it's all proposal. But so somewhere between 10 and 39 countries in the first, I don't know, 2 months that the reopening kicks off, or the first month maybe. And then for fully vaccinated tourists, you can come in. You have to have a test before you get on the plane. You have to have a test when you land. And as long as both of those are negative, you should be good to go. Should be. There has been no definitive, I haven't heard any definitive conclusion, nor have I seen a published article in a Royal Gazette, which it kind of makes things into law over here. So everything's kind of still up in the air right now. And for everything that you hear, you need to fact check it. I cannot encourage you to fact check enough of the information that you hear, especially here on YouTube. Even for me, I get things wrong all the time because I'm not involved in Thai government, but I've been here long enough to kind of understand. I've been here long enough to recognize patterns in what they're doing, and you know it is what it is. It's a different style of than what I'm used to. It's definitely not America. It's just different. Okay, so the biggest thing for tourists, especially foreign tourists that are coming over to Thailand, is to cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and if you can, there's nothing wrong with waiting a little bit until, like, you want to come right at the very 1st of November when it first opens up. Well, you're still kind of at the end of rain. You're still in the end of rainy season. So, and right now, it's forecast to rain every day. We're ending rainy season right now. So maybe you want to wait till December and see how the reopening goes in November, and wait till December and come. It's just out of caution. However, if you have purchased tickets and you were planning on coming in November, just do the best you can. Make sure your research is done. I don't want to see anybody get stuck here and not be able to leave. And I also don't want to see people come here with the expectation of Thailand being fully reopened and you can just go and do whatever you want to whenever you want to. That's just not the case. You're going to have to come in through a sandbox scheme or some other kind of program that they set up. More than likely, okay. Not saying that's a definite that's going to happen, but for right now, you'll have to. And those are very important things to keep in mind when making a decision of whether or not you should visit Thailand in 2021. After 2021, I do believe everything will start to whatever this quote unquote new normal is going to look like. I think it'll start to come into play, and you'll start to see it develop and form in 2022. I would place my bets on 2022 Thailand versus 2021 Thailand. But I understand. Believe me, I live here. I've been to the islands. Most of them. I've been to some of the most beautiful places in Thailand, which are some of the most beautiful places in the world. I've seen things over here that I would never see anywhere else. And this is, in my opinion, just a fantastic vacation. It's a fantastic lifestyle. Thailand is good for the mind, the body. It's just good. It really is. It's a good place to come relax, chill, hang out. It's pretty cool. It really is. So, with that being said, I'm going to comments right now, and I'm sure these topics will be brought up again. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. I really appreciate it. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Ups and downs help. Engagement, period. Okay. Anon says, just steady, hard drizzle here in China. Serious sleeping weather. Yes, it is serious sleeping weather right now. Tim says, that is always the question in Thailand, no matter where you are. That's true. Tyron, okay. Gregory says, Thailand, Brad, cool. I'm still considering whether to come through Phuket or straight to Bangkok. It's good to hear everything is open there. That is good to hear. I agree, Greg. Anon says the Phuket governor told the national governor to stick it and told the national government he was going to allow for normal life. Good for him. Good for him. If you guys that follow me on Facebook, I publicly posted to my Facebook page something this morning. It was in my memory section. You might want to check that out. It has to do with people standing up to the few, or the masses standing up to the few. So, yeah, you can check that out. What's up, Lyle? How's it going, brother? Good to see you, man. Love you. Glad you're here. Hope you're feeling better. Pepe, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Anon Filthos, you can go to the beach right now and have a nice drink. That's sitting under the umbrellas on a beach chair. They'll even go to a bar and grab it for you. Just can't drink in the bar. Ah, okay. There you go. Even more information. Deborah, welcome, Deborah. Deborah says, with you guys living in Thailand, do they also require to get COVID medical $100,000 insurance? Yes, they do. I never had to get this before visiting, and I do own a condo in Pattaya, but it's very pricey to get the medical insurance. There are numerous websites, and I'm sure somebody in here will provide information. Anon's probably already on it. Give me a second, Deborah. I haven't. I've been living here the whole time. I came here almost a year before. Well, yeah, a year before. No, year and a half before COVID. Yeah, or more than that. So I never went. The only time I've left Thailand is on visa runs. Back when border runs were happening, I went to Savannah, Laos, and I've been to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to do visa runs. So, and I only stayed in those places for 24 hours or less. So I don't really, I have no idea about the COVID insurance coming back in. I've read up on it. There's a lot of hiccups to it, but I think Anon would be a good person. He's got a comment. We'll get down there. Griffin says, I have booked late December and can change dates with no change fee. Good for you, man. That was smart. Good job, Griffin. Tim says, I will tell you or anybody anything you want to know if you let me stay in paradise. I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Tim's priority is getting to Thailand. We all know that, and I don't blame you, Tim. I don't blame you. You'll enjoy it over here. Deborah, and I'm going to answer your question, probably, I would suggest. He says, COVID insurance only needed for the time you are on a visa directly from overseas. If you're already here or on an extension, COVID insurance not required. Very good information, and that is correct to the best of my knowledge as well. She's currently living in, or I assume she is. I'm currently living in Tennessee, waiting till Thailand opens. That's not a bad idea. 212 Roger, what's up, brother? He says also every motel, hotel logs your location via your required passport. That's true. That's right. They do. You have to show your passport there, and it's pretty. Yeah, you show your passport at every hotel you go to, and stay. They make a copy. Thailand is fat. Is very. Google the apps system here in Thailand. APPS. Google it. It's an acronym, and just look into that. Thailand is fastly becoming a nation of gosh, I don't want to say this the wrong way. I don't want to say a nation of law and order, but I want to say it's quickly. It reminds me of a lot of the implementations that Thailand is putting into practice right now. Reminds me a lot of like the Freedom of Information Act in America, and the other freedoms given to government that they should not possess. So, and some of that goes on here. That's, they have all your information. Your TM30 is going to tell you your address. If you forget to file your TM30 when you get here, you're in trouble. If you your arrival card, I'm sure you still have to fill out an arrival card on the airplane. If you don't keep that in when you get here, staple your departure card. Okay, I think they take your arrival piece off, and it's been so long since I did it. So it's a perforated piece of paper. They'll take off your arrival, and they'll leave this little white and blue piece of paper with the departure. It's called a departure card. It's got some dates and information on there. Staple that to a page in your passport, because if you lose your departure card, you can't leave Thailand until you get one. And I don't know what getting one would entail, but I'm sure it would be costly and very time consuming. Just FYI. Now, let's see. Alan says, DoMoreLife, I've had the More China app installed since I got here. Used a total of 6.34 megabytes of data since June. The China app has used 4.55 data, and I sign into stores using that if needed. I forgot which one I have. I think mine starts with More or something. The More China or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't use a lot of data. But he says, so neither app has proven to be that intrusive, though I nowadays just fake doing the QR scan with China anymore. Yeah, I understand. Right now, you're correct. It's not very intrusive. But the app is going to change. That's my whole point behind it. And I think everybody knows that. They see it coming. Tim says, Jeremy, can't remember if I asked this already, but do you prefer America or Thailand in general? I'm an American. I'm a very proud American. I'll always be an American. There are certain aspects of America that I miss. I really, to be totally honest with you, Tim, I don't mind that. For you guys that are new to this conversation, this channel, this is probably one of the more definitely one of the more transparent channels on YouTube. I don't really hold anything back, so I'm going to answer your question in full, Tim. I wouldn't want to be in America right now, just because of the situation in America right now. It's horrible. I wouldn't want to be there. Where I'm at right now, the situation is not horrible. It could be much, much worse. And even though I'm not thriving at the moment, I'm still head above water. All is well, as far to the best of my knowledge. So, I don't really see massive issues or problems arising here in Thailand in the near future. I hope. But I see for America, the next 3 years is going to be in America is going to be rough. It really is, and I feel for my fellow Americans. I really do. So I plan to stay abroad till at least 2024. But unless I go home to visit family, which I definitely need to. I haven't been home since I left home in July of 2017, when I left home. I went to the Philippines for 9 months, and then I've been in Thailand ever since. So, to answer your question, Tim, there are certain aspects about both countries that I miss. The main aspect I miss about America is the fact that my family's there, and I miss my family and friends dearly. Like, I really miss being around people that actually love me and that care about me. There are very few people here in Thailand that I can say truly have what are my friends and truly have my best interest at heart when they talk to me or when they're around me, right? Um, there's just so much more selfishness when you're abroad than there is when you're with your family and friends and that kind of thing. So, the solution to that is of course, get out and make friends. But when you work 3 jobs and you're trying to pursue an internship as well, you really don't have time to get out and make friends. I'm in the middle of a 10-year plan. For those of you that don't know, I plan on retiring when I'm 50, and I'm trying to get there by any means necessary, as long as it's all legal, of course. So I hope that answers your question, Tim. I don't know. I guess it depends on the situation of America, to be totally honest with you. I like the cost of living over here in Thailand. It's much cheaper. Some things are not cheaper over here. If you get Western products over here, it's going to cost you more because of the import tax. If you have not everything you can get in the West you can get here. Not everything you can get here you can get in the West. So my man from I forgot his name. Love watching his channel. The nomad capitalist nomad, whatever he is. That guy. He always talks about he revoked his United States citizenship. He gave up his citizenship. And you actually have to pay to give up your citizenship. That's the last thing I want to say about your question, Tim. But he's talked about he gave it up for tax reasons, right? And I think that being an American citizen used to mean something. It really did. It used to mean it used to mean you were an American. There used to be meaning behind that. Just like not taking away from, not saying America's the greatest country in the world. A lot of people say that, but I'm not here to proclaim that America is the greatest country in the world. What I am saying is there was a time when you were a U.S. citizen and you could travel abroad and you felt good going back home because you were like, this is where I'm going to be taken care of. This is my home. This is the place. We're all in this together. Take yourself back to September the 12th, 2001. Every American, September 12th, 2001, was a proud American. September the 12th, 2001. September the 11th? Who knows? But September the 12th, those days, if they ever came back where everybody came together from all races, all cultures, all ethnicities, everybody, right? For a good solid year, 2 years, 3 years, there was no infighting amongst, I mean, of course, little quarrels, but nothing big. There was no infighting amongst the government. There was no, that you had to go to war, not go to war people, but everybody kind of had each other's back, right? And that's the way I remember America, or that's the way I remember how good it felt to be an American. When you come abroad, you'll find quickly that you're a guest in the country, and unless you have a permanent residency, which is basically amounts to like a green card in America, or you have become a naturalized citizen of that country, you really don't have many rights. And like, you can't really talk about the government, that kind of thing. When I talk about government on here, I'm talking about what's in the news. I'm not talking about individual people in the government, nor am I being hypercritical of anything. I don't feel like there's a problem with criticizing something, but I'm always the type of person that's under the impression if you're going to criticize something, you need to have your own solution for it. Right. So, my solution for Thailand, the only critical thing that I see is, open the whole country. Just open the country and let everybody get back to business. Just open it up and let's roll. But Thailand is playing it really, really safe. I can't fault them for that. Okay. I can't fault them for that. So, Where's it better to live, America or Thailand? I don't know. I guess it depends on the time of year and the powers that be in each country, Tim. So I guess it's subjective to where you want to live, really. And I says, Tim, obviously not Jeremy, but Thailand, 1,000%, particularly considering how the U.S. has been since not. Oh, he mentioned it in there. Very interesting. Very interesting. Charles White, welcome. My friend, he says, anyone that has visited China pre-situation is used to being tracked. It didn't stop people from visiting then. You just have to remember you're a visitor and must comply with their rules. That's fair enough. Griffin says 38 countries reportedly on short list. On the short list for no quarantine reopening. Okay, so they moved it up 38. Good. That's from the Tiger. Okay, excellent. Beautiful. Love it. Thank you, moderators. I see some messages deleted. Hey, Ross, we have a new channel member. Who is that? Go Hopping. Welcome. Welcome to the DoMoreLife family. Thank you for... I was a member before, but YouTube deleted my channel and all my subscriptions. Uh-oh. Well, welcome back, bud. Glad to have you. Glad to have you, for sure. Let's see. Where was I? Charles White says, at Pete, no politics here. Thank you. Yep, we don't do politics. Ross says, what's your opinion on locals traveling around Thailand? Good question, Ross. I was going to get to domestic travels in just a second. I'm glad you said that for 100%. Yes, keep U.S. politics out of the chat, and definitely keep Thailand politics out of the chat. I'm not talking politics here. That you guys need to understand that. I'm talking economics. I'm talking laws that impact the economy and the well-being of Thai citizens here. I'm not talking just because I mentioned the government doesn't mean I'm talking politics. Okay, we are talking policy, but it doesn't. I'm not. I'm not here. Here's what you have to understand. First and foremost, nobody, no one, no country knew how to handle this situation. Okay? Thailand did what they thought was right. Unfortunately, I don't think things went as they had hoped for originally. There was a very light, and this is public information, and the Prime Minister has even come out and said it. So there's no, I'm not, what's that word? I'm not slandering or libel or anything like that. Certainly not him. But he came out and said that, there was a slow rollout of the vaccines, seemed to be a lot of the problem. And I'm paraphrasing. But he said that months ago, and granted, they saw a big uptake in vaccines getting here to Thailand. And as they got here, the caseload started to, the number of daily infections started to decline. They've kind of leveled off now, but it's a good sign. And, again, I'm neither pro nor against. I'm you do you on that situation. My story with the jab is completely different from anything probably you're ever going to hear from anybody else because, I can't go into it right here on YouTube, which is why I'm working on videos for other platforms that I can go into it on. Let's see. Locals traveling Thailand. Ross says, absolute domestic tourism is a huge part of Thailand and the Thai economy. So us local expats, or locals in general, Thais, we've seen just since they've eased some of the restrictions, like last weekend, you guys that were in Cham and Hua Hin, even Mike was telling me, right, that because he's on that side of Thailand right now. We're talking about the weekend. It was just absolutely packed with Thais that most of which come from Bangkok or the surrounding provinces, not to Buri, some Upricon, some other ones around here. That come down to vacation for the weekend, and of course, I'm sure the businesses in China were just ecstatic about this, right? So local traveling is phenomenal, but here's something you need to realize: some provinces here in Thailand right now, and I just read this yesterday. Some provinces, this is why I keep telling you to wait. Some provinces are still requiring, if you go in, it doesn't matter if you're fully vaxxed or not. There's one province here in Thailand that I know of for sure that still has a at-home 2-week queue. Fully vaxxed, doesn't matter. 2-week queue. So some of the provinces won't let you in unless you are double vaxxed, and there are other issues surrounding testing in certain provinces and that kind of thing. So if you're fully vaccinated and you come here, then getting around, or whether you're local or foreign, shouldn't be too much of a problem. I haven't done any kind of real traveling since April. I was in Pattaya in April. Last November, I went to Krabi for the first time and got to see a few islands out there. Onang Beach, stayed in Krabi town. Absolutely loved it. It was beautiful. Then went to Pattaya for a few days. And the day I left Pattaya in April was the next day that was the day of the lockdown that began, and that has went on up until this month. So I haven't been able to travel because of that. But we went through a partial furlough at work, which basically meant I got half my month's salary, which is, if you knew what I made, you would just kind of giggle and be like, dude, you need to find a homeless shelter. But because of this channel and because of my family and some really good people, I was able to hang on through it, and everything's looking good now. So let's continue. Steve Dunn, good to see you, brother. All right. Filtho says, why no love for Jeremy tonight? Well, we got 22 thumbs up now, so we're doing good. A little more love would be nice, but it's all right. I love you guys no matter what. Pete says, I'm not vaxxed. Any hope for me to enter Pattaya Beach or Samui? You can try ASEAN Now's website, which it used to be Thai Visa. Did I say that right? Thai Visa? Yeah, it used to be. And they will give you that information, because I don't know. If you're not vaxxed, you're definitely going to have to quarantine. And you'll have to test, I don't know how many times, if you want to come. But I definitely, I don't know what the regulations are for the completely unvaxxed to come in. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I wish I did. Maybe somebody in the chat does, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. Anon says to Pete, you have 10 days queue as of November. There you go. Asia Unscripted says, define quarantine without a defiant quarantine without a jab. Interesting. Ross says, Anon, you are not the only person doing the fake scan. Oh, yeah. Yeah. For sure. Tim says, Ross, hey, man, I got some questions for you regarding this line app. We finally got Tim in, by the way, guys. Anon says, Deborah, so the trick is to come in on a 60 or 90-day visa and do the 1-year extension after you get here. Then the insurance shouldn't be more than a couple of $100. That's a good point, Anon. Very good point. Hello, Giovanni. Good morning to you. Ross Round says, you are confusing the Freedom of Information Act with the Patriot Act. I very well may have, Ross. I don't like either one of them, by the way. Pete says, do Thai authorities want to see your bank account when you arrive? That depends on what your visa status is going to be. Tim says, how is Thailand considered a third world country, yet they seem so bright in step with other countries as far as technology goes? And I'm just happen to see Ross's comment next, where he says it's a developing nation. I've always called Thailand a developing nation. You want to go to a third world country, go to the Philippines. I was there for 9 months. That's third world. It's not like being in, sub-Saharan Africa, but it's that's a third world country. To put it in perspective, I've always said this. This is kind of my analogy. Thailand is about a decade ahead of, maybe even a little bit more, of the Philippines in infrastructure. And that in and of itself is a huge win for Thailand. I don't refer to Thailand as a third world nation by any stretch. It's not. I mean, there's too much technology here to refer to it as a third world nation. Whereas places like, and I haven't been to Vietnam. I don't know what Vietnam. There's people in here. Asia Unscripted says you haven't seen third world until you've seen Africa. I believe that. I've never been to Africa, but I believe that. But I would still classify the Philippines as a third world country. And that's just my opinion. Now, let me be clear on that. I don't hate the Philippines. I don't hate the people of the Philippines. In fact, most of the Filipinos that I met while I was there, or Filipinos, I had no problem with. The vast majority, I had no issue with at all. Almost like it was here. My problem in the Philippines were the expats there. Because there are such less strict rules. At the time, you could go there on a tourist visa and stay for 3 years, leave for 24 hours, come back and stay on a tourist visa. So, for 3 more years. You just have to go to immigration every 60 days or 1 year, 6 months, however long you pay for your extension to stay on tourist visa, and you can stay as long as you don't break any laws. And if you stay more than 6 months, then you have to get an exit clearance, meaning that they just run you through their system, make sure that you haven't broken any laws. So I don't have a problem with the Philippines or the Filipino people. In fact, the Philippines was a very unique experience, and as I said yesterday, I'm very glad I went there first and then came to Thailand, because if I had been to Thailand first and then went to the Philippines, I would have been like, that's just me. That's just me. That's just how I feel. Can't leave Thailand, Tim says. What if you don't want to leave Thailand? Well, then you just stay here. Asian Script, I addressed that and I agree. Tim says, he's talking to Raw. Hey, there's Mike. Should you come to Thailand? Yes, International Fireworks Festival in Pattaya, November 26th and 27th. Come for the explosion, stay for the kiss. Yeah, I hear you, bud. Yeah, definitely. I'm all for people coming to Thailand. This is just my information I'm giving out. So, people disagree with me all the time. People like, come to Thailand. Why would you wait to come to Thailand? But look, if you're going to come over here for a 2-week holiday and all you want to do is see, Phuket, Samui, maybe some of the other tourist spots in Thailand, then come. Pattaya, whatever, come. By all means, come. But if you're planning on coming over here and you got this is like your big vacation and you've saved your money and this is like, a really big deal, and if things go wrong, it's gonna impact you financially and emotionally, right? It's gonna have an impact on your life if things go wrong. Then just wait a little while. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Sometimes it's hard for I know, especially for retirees that have worked their entire life and have generated a lot of wealth. And I'm very happy that they have, and I hope to be able to do the same thing. But it's very easy for people who have a wealth net under them to not worry about whether or not things are going to remain open or whatever happens and that kind of thing. But for people like me that don't have a wealth net, that don't have a safety cushion. When I saved up to go to the Philippines, I knew I was going to be there for a long time, so I had some money saved. And I had a net, but some people, not everybody's going to, and I just don't want. I'm talking to the people that it's gonna if it's gonna put you in a mental stress where you're going to be worried that something could go wrong, or there's an indication that there's going to be problems coming up, then perhaps you might want to delay your coming to Thailand. That's my whole point of all of this. Otherwise, if you're now, let's look at the other side of the coin. If you're a retiree, let's use Tim for an example. Okay, let's say Tim wants to come to Thailand finally, and he's ready to retire. All right, then he could come right now, or today, tomorrow. He could have come last month, last year during all this. It doesn't matter, because if you're going to stay here anyway, then it doesn't matter if there's quarantine, doesn't matter if there's lockdowns and that kind of thing. If you're going to live here, you're going to live here. So just come on. Like, there's no reason not to come if that's your intention. But as a tourist, you want to be a tourist, and I want you to have the best experience possible. All right, Tim says, Asia, try Egypt. I hear you, man. It's not bad in SC, says Pepe. Anna says, Asia Unscripted, true. You haven't seen Third World until you've been to Africa. I believe that. Tim says, I don't want to be in America now, hence Thailand. I understand. Kel, good morning to you, mate. Too early to go to Thailand. I couldn't think of anything worse, especially if you test positive while you're there. Just a nightmare. It could be. I guess that's possible. Rob says, how many days for quarantine for the unvaxxed in January? I've heard 10 to 14. It's going to be somewhere in there. The articles that are coming out, the media is portraying it as a 10-day quarantine. But look, man, you can't really trust the media over here. I mean, you want to, right? But and don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as mainstream media in America. Not even close. But it's there's a lot of, in the crypto world, they call it FUD, right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There's a lot of FUD that goes on over here, just in regular day-to-day news, that you have to be able to sift through. And in order to be able to sift through it in your brain, the only way you get to do that is learning about Thailand, right? And the best way to do that is by being here. So, yeah. That's my answer, Rob. I'm sorry I don't have a definitive for you on that, but I don't see anything being published. All I hear is proposals, right? And I haven't seen anything published in the Word Gazette yet about that. So as soon as these breaks have been, like, I've seen Thailand YouTubers over the weekend, for example. This is a good example of why I try to be so transparent, try to always admit when I'm wrong, always tell you guys that this is a proposal or this is a fact. But this is why I see a lot of Thai YouTubers come out. As soon as the media says something, they come out with it as a fact, right? And the fact is, it's not a fact. It's a proposal. It's not been put into law. And if you know anything about the way that Thailand generates their policy and their laws over here, they are subject to change even after they are implemented. They are subject to be amended quickly without warning. It happens. It happens very fast over here. I've seen it happen. And even during the law being written process, you're going to see probably some massive changes to it. Probably. That's been my experience over here. That's why I say probably. So, with that being said, these are just things to keep in mind, guys, just to keep you thinking. Okay, Charles White, my main man, says, I got a bunch of main men in here. He says, hit the like, folks. Lots of good information here within the community. Yes, sir. I appreciate all the thumbs up, guys. I really do. We're climbing up there. Appreciate it. Philto says, America versus Thailand. As an American, you get to pay American taxes no matter where you live or earn. What could be better than that? And that's a fair point, Philto. So my one really, really super critical the one thing that I absolutely despise about being an American citizen. This is the only thing that I hate about being an American citizen. Everything else about being born in America is a good thing, but at its core, it's a good thing for me anyway. But the one thing I hate about it is the IRS and taxes. It's absolutely just ridiculous that you have to pay income taxes on money that you make in foreign countries, or if you're making American dollars in foreign countries, you have to pay income tax on that. I don't. To the best of my knowledge, there's only one other country in the world that does that, and it's a very small country. You may or may not believe that taxation is theft. I have an opinion on that. I won't share it on YouTube. I got to find a new platform to be able to really start talking about some of the important stuff. But I don't believe all taxation is theft. I believe that taxation in itself is a form of theft. There are ways governments in all around the world, not just in the U.S., there are ways that governments can be funded without the need for massive taxes on people. I understand. Look, if you had a flat tax of 5 or 10% or something like that, and I understand the argument behind flat taxes, I get it. I get it. Okay, but if you had let's just say you had a reasonable tax rate in every bracket, or you had a flat tax, okay, I probably would have much less of a problem with the taxation system. But in America, the IRS, they wants to tax you on your earned income, and then I take my earned income and invest it into, let's say, crypto, make money in crypto on that investment, and then if I want to pull profits out of that, well, I owe, as of right now, if the capital gains tax doesn't go up, which the administration has plans for it to go way up. Right now, it's at like 23.5%, I believe, for Americans. So 23.5% of all those profits go to federal government. Then I have to pay state tax on top of that. And then I have to incur any fees that could be involved. And God forbid you don't report any of this stuff to the IRS, you will get audited. So, and then you're going to be on a payment plan for a long time. If you're behind, if you've missed anything, it's just a mess. It's a mess. And what is the administration in America doing? Looking to expand the IRS. What does the IRS do? They come after, they get a few millionaires here and there, but they come after middle class because they know that middle class is locked down. The lower middle class, they're locked in, and they got them right where they want them, and there's nothing they can do about it. They don't have the resources or anything, so they can just tax that income until they get their money, and it's sad. It really is. The good point, Feltos. And I said that Kale been through the Q process twice, never ran into a problem other than a sore nose and lingering boredom. Yes, he has, and I believe you. Tim says, Phil, not me. I don't pay taxes to anybody. That's true. If you're retired, you shouldn't have to pay taxes on if you're drawing a pension, or if you're drawing. I don't know about pensions, but Social Security income you don't have to pay taxes on. I know that for a fact. So I guess you would only have to pay like property tax or something. And Kel says, okay, but I'm not paying for a holiday to be bored, full stop. Got you, bud. That's, that, I don't think you'll be bored if you come over here now, for a holiday. I don't think you'll be bored. In fact, if you want to come for a holiday now, I think you'll be okay. But I just don't. And I want to make that clear also. I think you'll be okay if you come for a holiday now, but I just don't know about coming for, or like this is your one, your big trip in life. Like, I've been broke my whole life. So when I do something, I went on a cruise in 2000, okay, with my father. Best experience of my life until 2014 when I stood on top of Machu Picchu in Peru. Best experience of my life. until I went to the Philippines and went to Baden and got to see Casawan Falls. And if you look at the profile picture of DoMoreLife, the avatar, you will that those are my fingers holding the glass ball, and that is the waterfall at Casawan Falls, the big waterfall at Casawan Falls in Baden, in the Philippines, on the island of Cebu, not the city. It's a long way outside the city. So that's what the profile picture is. And then that was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen until I got to Hong Island on, I believe it was Hong Island. Yeah, Hong Island, here in Thailand. And then that's been the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The ocean and the island itself and how it's set up, amazing. And then I saw Raleigh Beach, and it was amazing. And it was, I mean, just it keeps getting more and more and more amazing. So, it is what it is. We don't name prescription drugs on here either. Pete, sorry, bud. Kel says, got that. Andy, what's up, man? What's the internship in? It is in a media field that I'm currently working on. Scott, nice to see you. Tim gave a thumbs up. Scott says, had a strong passport. Okay. And I says, Philthos, there is an earned income exclusion. So if you work in Thailand, you don't have to pay unless you're making serious mega bucks. That is true. That is true, Anon. And you have to make sure you file that F-bar, I think is what it's called, or some kind of piece of paper you have to file to say you're working in Thailand. Hello, Rocco. Good to see you, bud. I haven't seen you in a while, so glad to see you in there. Philthos says, yes, like $187,000, isn't it, Anon? Ozia, 1996. Look up red, white, and through for expats who want to give up citizenship. I'm still a Toby Keith style American. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of fit in that model as well. Do you call yourself Ozia or Oasia? I'm gonna call you 1996, or I'm gonna call you 96. Okay, 96. I will look that up, and I will never. I don't think I personally would never give up my citizenship in America. I just have to live with the consequences, I guess, if there are any. There's Go Hopping's comment in his channel membership, and I'm very, very happy to have him on board. Good to have you here. Anon says, Philthos, I don't know for sure what the current exclusion is because I am retired, no earned income. Got you, bud. Montelli, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I hope you're still in the chat when I said this. Looking forward to talking to you, man. He says, my solution is get me out of Crazyville. Yeah, that's a fair solution, Montelli, and I definitely hope that you are able to get out of Crazyville as soon as possible, for sure. Jason says, sure hope Australia is on that list soon. So do I, brother. So do I. I want you guys to be able to get out and come to Thailand and enjoy yourself. I really do. Pepe says, Australia would be the last place on earth I want to live right now. Well, that's a fair statement, too. Anna says, DoMoreLife, I was specifically talking about the security state. Security state. You might need to send me a message to brief me up on that one. I don't understand exactly. But because I'm so far behind the comments, I don't know exactly what you're referring to, Anon. But I will gladly address it if you want to clarify. Go Hopping says, I was a member before. Oh, yeah, got that one. Ross, the reason Thailand has been so protective comes down to dollars. In USA, insurance cover hospital bills. Here, the government is paying the medical bills, thus no stimulus. Yeah, that part of it makes sense. And I want to be sure I read your comment thoroughly here. USA insurance cover hospital bills. Here, the government paying medical bills. Well, the government's paying medical bills for the citizens, but not for foreigners. So, I got a message from a Thai yesterday, a comment on the video I did from a Thai citizen who graduated university. And he told me that a starting salary with a good company for a Thai citizen here is about 15,000 baht a month. That's what he told me, about 15,000 baht a month. Now, I was like, how can you live on 15,000 baht a month? I actually went in and had a conversation with this guy in message. And he's like, well, we don't have to pay for health care. And because I was like, this is what I spend money on, this. And he's like, yeah, we don't have to spend money on any of those things. Like, he's like, our rides are in taxis and stuff, motorbike taxis are super cheap. He told me he paid like 20 baht to ride a motorbike 5 kilometers, a motorbike taxi. And I'm like, well, if I could get that price, I would probably, I could save a lot of money too. He's like, yep. He's like, I take some medication myself. He had some kind of condition. I won't talk about it, but he actually told me what it was. And the medication that he takes is as expensive as medication I take. So he was like, yeah, but I don't have to pay for it. I get it from the hospital. And I'm like, wow. So if I could save all that money, yeah, I would be living high on the hog too. And then we talked about things like, he had a brand new iPhone, and I was like, how do you afford that on 15,000 baht a month? And he was like, oh, we pay for it monthly. We don't ever pay the full price here. But if you're a foreigner, and you go to AIS, which I have, AIS to buy the phone, you have to pay for the entire cost of the phone up front. Even with a work permit and plenty of time on your visa. So that's something to keep in mind. Don C, good morning. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good morning in Pattaya. Oasis says Montelli has much wisdom. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He definitely does. Steve Montelli in the chat. Hello, sir. Everybody's saying hello to Montelli, and that's fine. I hope he gives me a call sometime today. That'd be great. Anon says, Ross Round, it's harder for Thailand to print money since the U.S. controls the petrodollar. That's a fair point. Asia says hello. Asian Unscripted says hello to Mr. Montelli. Don says, I did go to dinner last Tuesday night down on Pattaya Beach. Great dinner, and I was offered and had maybe 3 glasses of wine. My sense is they don't want large crowds. Understood. Crowds and alcohol are going to be some of the top topics of conversation around Thailand, I feel like, coming up in the next few months. I kind of feel that way. Dante says, Steve lost track since you were on DR. Juan Mariah says, I agreed on your suggestion. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Wait a bit to the end of the year. Vaccination percentage should focus on business, industrial worker. Yeah, we don't really criticize where they should go on here. We're not doctors, so we don't give medical advice. So don't get offended because I'm going to pull your comment down. We can't. YouTube won't allow us to give anything that even remotely resembles medical advice. And there is no medical advice in this video. There's no financial advice in this video. This is all our experience. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I would do and what I have done. That's it. Montelli says, Don C, me and DR did not get along. No, you did not. Don C, Anon, yep, you are correct. Very fluid at the moment, but trending to the positive. That's good. Don C says, Steve, after you got that $75 US haircut, you turned me off. LOL. That's funny. Filtho says, out of energy, so off to sleep. Be well and have a great weekend. You too, buddy. I hope you feel better. I really do. Kel says, I pay enough in tips, let alone pay for a confined hotel stay. I hear you. Tim says, yay, but I want to put this Line app on my computer. We'll get you there, Tim. We'll get you there, bud. I promise. Don C says, Thailand is not a third world country. Yep, the Philippines is. Agreed. Oasis says, Montelli has the stories like buried treasure. Check Twitch, YouTube, and set nets for message in a box. I like that. I like that. Montelli's figured out a way to sneak around all this, right? Ross says, Kel, if you are tipping in Thailand, the norm is 10%. Do not tip like an American. Good point, Ross. And he's right. Giovanni says, suppose when you go back to USA, you can do more life about USA, which would be good. Absolutely. When I do go back home to visit my family, I plan on staying there for, at least a month, I would think. And I'll definitely, wherever they're at, because my dad travels. He's he just retired full-time RVer. So wherever they're at, I'll definitely bring some content back from that for sure. Tim says, speaking of wins, my Sox tied up the series today, headed back to Fenway. Awesome if you're a Sox fan, not awesome if you're not. Montelli says, 96, I'll think of it. Charles says, Tim, now you've got it on your phone. You can use it on your computer. It may ask you to scan a QR code with the phone app to log in and sync. That's exactly what it will do, Charles. Exactly. Giovanni says, I know exactly what you mean about expats in the Philippines. I really got you on that one. I'm glad you do, Giovanni. And I know you do. I know you do, bro. Kel says there are over 152 third world developing countries in the world, guys. Jason says many airlines are taking bookings only from the jabbed as well. Yeah. That's also something I needed to tell you guys. If you're going to fly domestically here in Thailand, as far as I know, the way everything looks and from all the reports, you're either going to have a negative test or double vaxxed, one of the two. So I don't know. I don't even think you can fly domestically here with just a negative test at the moment. You might be able to. I could be wrong on that one. And if I am, I apologize. But I do know that today's Sunday. It's been 1 week, right? So next Sunday, because I got my second jab last Sunday. So 1 week from today, that'll be the 14 days since I got the jab. I can go anywhere, pretty much anywhere, do anything in Thailand I want to. Problem is, I've had all these side projects going on while we were in the lockdown, and now I've got too much on my plate to really do a lot of traveling. But if the travel fund increases, I'll definitely do some traveling as soon as possible. Let's see. Tim says you have to wear a mask even if you're fully vaccinated. I hate masks. That's fair. And yes, it's also true. Jason says I'm not a mask fan either, but if that's the deal to get there, then and be there, I will put up with it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. New York Frank, good evening to you, sir. It is good to see you in the chat. Thank you very much for stopping by. Love to catch up with you sometime, brother. Lee, my man, thank you first and foremost for your contribution yesterday after the live stream. I appreciate it very, very much. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. He says, until the current medical situation is under control globally, international travel will continue to be a hassle. And that is, I don't see any objection to that statement at all in any way, form, or fashion. I believe that it's likely that we will see every country have their own, their own set of requirements, their own programs, their own tourist packages, their own sandbox schemes. They won't call them sandbox schemes, I don't think, but they'll have their own thing. I think each country will handle it differently. And it will be a mess until the elites get what they want. And I can't tell you what that is on this live stream. But I know exactly what they're looking for. 212 Roger, and inflation is an invisible tax 100%. And inflation is also, you have to remember this, inflation is a tax on your savings. If you have fiat currency and you have it in a bank or you have it in the stock market or whatever, If you take, well, a little bit different stock market. Let's just use fiat currency. Let's say you got savings, right? And you have fiat currency from whatever country you live in, and inflation rises. Okay, that means the prices of goods and services are going to go up, and your pay most likely is not. So if your pay doesn't go up, the price of goods and services go up. It costs more to live where you're living, right? In a sense, inflation happens. Well, I'm not going to talk about the reason behind inflation because I'm not an economist, but I understand inflation, and I understand why it's happening right now. And the inflation is definitely an invisible tax. You're right. It is. It's you're going to pay more for things, which essentially is a tax, right? You don't get to keep all your money anywhere, really. So, yeah, the inflation is a problem for real. And if we see worldwide inflation, then we may see even worse things happen. But hopefully that won't happen. It'll be limited, and hopefully the U.S. get the inflation under control. But if they want to borrow more and more money, and print more and more money, has anybody ever heard of Venezuela? Anybody? Just out of curiosity? Anybody? Okay. Anyway, 96 says, can English teachers demand more money because of tight immigration restrictions, low supply of teachers, the same demand? Yeah, you can ask for whatever you want, and then they can tell you to hit the road. No, English teachers can't demand more money because of the shortage, unfortunately. They say that teachers are super respected, highly respected over here. The truth of the matter is Thai teachers are truly respected over here. They are truly respected, and they get a lot of credit from the community. Foreign teachers, not so much. Sometimes you will meet people, Thais, that really are grateful to have foreign teachers here. They understand the value of learning foreign language or learning math or science or whatever in a foreign language, which is what a lot of EP programs do. So yeah, there's being a teacher is just being a teacher. Being a teacher is kind of like, unless you're gonna go down the full education route. Being a teacher over here in Thailand, when I say full education, I mean like you're going to go get a master's degree in education, or you're going to get like a PGCE or something like that. Unless you're going to go that route, teaching over here is going to last 6 years because that's it, or 3 waivers, whichever you run out of first. And after that, you either have to get a post-secondary education diploma or degree, and you have to pass the new test at is it Cruisebon? I think it's not Cruisebon. That's a bank. Anyway, it's whatever the Ministry of Education, the test that they put in place that so far no foreigner's been able to pass. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Richard, welcome, Richard. He says, what area are you from in the States? North Carolina. Don's talking to Montelli. Anon says, DoMoreLife tax on foreign investments. That is the main reason why I would keep any BTC or Forex investments in my foreign spouse's name. No, not married, just saying. And that's a great idea, and it's fair enough. And you can actually invest if you're talking crypto. They have BitCub and something else here. Zipmax, or no, is that it? I don't know. There's a couple of platforms that are licensed by Thailand's SEC to trade crypto on here in Thailand. So you can do that over here, and I'm not. I don't know if you would have to pay capital gains tax on that or not. I'm assuming you would, but I don't know for sure. Tim says, I don't know. I don't pay any income tax to anybody that I like it this way. I highly recommend it. I hear you, bro. Montelli says, Don C, I got my first shot yesterday, and you know my thoughts on that. I think Thailand will be open on time with a few trips and falls, but I want to be ready. Fair enough, Montelli. I think me and you were in the same boat when it comes to the thoughts on the jab. And there you go. Social Security and 100% VA compensation, says Tim. You're in good shape, man. And I says that, Tim, assuming your VA is legit, no offense, I've seen plenty of 100% people who are fully functioning. I'd rather pay tax than have a service-related disability. Well, that to each his own. Ross says FBAR is to report bank accounts with more than 10,000 in them in a foreign country. I assume that's 10,000 US dollars, correct, Ross? Richard says, what would, thank you for the clarification, though. I appreciate that. What would life be like if you got stuck in Thailand due to COVID, even if you had income of 3 to 4K coming in? How would life go inside? Well, if you make 3 to 4,000 US dollars a month and you convert that into baht, okay, you are going to live. I mean, you're talking about 90,000 baht a month at the bare minimum, dude. You can do pretty much whatever you want on $3,000, $4,000 a month. I mean, at 4,000, you're talking about over 120,000 baht a month, right? So at that point, if you're making 4K a month, that's the lifestyle that I dream of here in Thailand one day, is to be able to make 4K 3,500 is my goal. If I get a passive income source that generates $3,500 a month, or if I get multiple streams of revenue that generate $3,500 a month, I'll get some type of visa that I can live here and not have to worry about all the crazy stuff. So that's my goal. Right now, I'm not even anywhere close to that number. But I was stuck here. Richard, if you were stuck with 3 to 4K coming in during the whole situation, you would have likely invested or saved a lot of money because there just wasn't a lot to do. You could do some things, and periodically you could travel freely. So there were things that you could do, and having money makes things easier in Thailand. But having money makes things easier everywhere. But that much money here in Thailand, you have a great life for sure. Ross says the 2020 foreign income exclusion is $107,600. So does that mean if you make less than $107,600 that you don't have to pay taxes on it? Is that what you're saying, Ross? If you make foreign income, I'm new to taxes, tax law. Okay, so I'm learning. Tim says, crazy Bill, does he live next door to me? Hey, he might. Giovanni says, can I ask everyone a message? Does age matter between male and female? Not really over here. It doesn't. Not too much. You'll find that Southeast Asia is very forgiving on that concept. And when I say forgiving, I don't mean like there's anything to forgive. I just mean I don't have I know a good friend of mine is much older than me and is engaged to a woman that's much younger than me, about half my age actually, and they are just like two peas in a pod. I mean, it's amazing. So and you have a lot of older guys with younger girls over here in Southeast Asia because they have lots of money and the girls want to be financially secure. That happens. It's real life. That wouldn't be an ideal life for me, but it happens. So the gap between ages is, you'll find in this part of the world, is much more forgiving, but I have a feeling over the next 10 years, you're going to see that start to evaporate a little bit more as the Western movement makes its way across the world. The BLMs, the feminists, the third wave feminists, the equality, this, equity, that, all that stuff will come in due time, probably. Anon says, Giovanni, be very, very wary of a girl 20 plus years younger than you who claims romantic attraction. May be legit, maybe warning signs. Yep, I agree. Jim A. in Florida, what's up, brother? He says, just curious, gasoline prices there rising like they are here. It costs me so little in gasoline. I have a motorbike, Jim. I don't even know. I really don't know. They went up a little bit. I do know that, but it wasn't like a lot. Because I literally take my motorbike and 100 baht about once every 2 weeks, depending on how much I travel. Now, I don't use my motorbike for travel a lot because I live in Bangkok. But the driving back to work is very important to have your own transportation. So that's why I have the bike here. And then having the bike here, I only put 100 baht worth of gas in it every 2 weeks or so. So that's $3 worth of gas. And it lasts me, going back and forth to work for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sometimes it's lasted me almost a month. If I had a completely full tank in a motorbike, which is about 100 and if it's completely empty, about 180, 200 baht. So $6 for a tank of gas. Not bad. Anon says gas prices up a little bit, but not nearly as bad in the States. Cool. Gas has gone up about 5 to 6 baht in the last 6 months per liter, says Ross. Steve says, I said, I wonder if something looks like it's going to open. You know my feelings on that. If I want to travel, I'm stuck. Yep, that's it. 100% Montelli. Same reason I did it. Ross says, Anon, even better than spouse is to put company in children's name if you have them. Interesting. Cool. Anon says, Ross, your kids are U.S. citizens by blood, even if you don't have them registered with the embassy. Be careful on that, LOL. Yeah, I think that Ross has a little bit different story, but I won't talk about that because that's his personal business. Don C says, Steve, I meant turn me off to the DR, the Dominican Republic. Gotcha. It was on my short list, so close to the U.S., but after a few videos, I crossed them off. Understood. 96 says, I'd like to see life in North Carolina. Please share vlogs if you go back home. I loved Raleigh when I visited on business. Cool. I don't live too far from Raleigh. Raleigh is the capital, of course, North Carolina, and it's what we call the triangle. What's it called? I can't remember. But it's where Duke and it's the Raleigh-Durham area, all that area. Why can't I think of the name of the triangle they call it right now? But anyway, that whole area is just livid with businesses and all kinds of things. It's been beautiful up there, really. Montelli says the DR was the most foreign place I've ever been in. I like that. Mr. Carr says, Steve, yeah, glad you're getting the jab. Need a new topic for live stream now. Go Hobby says, my $30 cryptocurrency investment is now worth $450. Good for you, bud. Good for you. I'm glad to hear that. Anon says, yeah, but paying taxes on it's going to be the problem. See, that's the whole issue. Is you're going to have to pay taxes on your profits if you take any. And with the, I'm not really getting into crypto on this video, but with the way things are looking, Bitcoin just had two ETFs approved. Crypto's adoption mainstream adoption is imminent. I mean, it's coming. It's coming. So, the sooner you get in and the more you can put in, the more your chances for a very nice return on your investment. I watched a video yesterday on how to get your crypto tax-free for 5 years, but you need about $1 million before you can do it. So we'll talk about that and some upcoming stuff that I talked to channel members about yesterday. If you're a channel member and want to know kind of where the channel's at, what my plans are for the channel coming up, you can check out the channel members only live stream we had yesterday. And go in there, check it out, see what I said, see what we said, see the things we talked about, leave some comments, let me know. You said, oh, wait. Anon said, as a reminder, folks, keeps politics, names of politicians away. Not everybody agrees with you, and no need to cause a Thanksgiving Day dinner argument over our table here at DoMoreLife. That is 100% correct. And we do not argue in here. We can have dialogue and discussion, and but we don't do politics. Like, I might talk about the situation in America, but I'm not going to start calling out. Yeah, you're on it, Anon. You got it. Giovanni said sorry about that, and whatever you did, Giovanni, I have no idea, but I'm sure you didn't mean to do it, so it's all good. Tim says double vax as in both jabs, or it all done twice. No, as in both jabs. 96 says English teaching experience will help you get a job in other places when ready to move on to Japan, Taiwan, Vietnam, Korea, Russia, etc. World is your oyster. Stay positive, my friend. Absolutely, 96. And thank you for saying that. I appreciate that very, very much. My only concern and you're right, teaching, I'm going to be in Thailand for a little while, for sure. When I say a little while, I mean years to come. And I'll get I'll get everything, as much teaching experience as I can while I'm here. I'm more looking into, Google's come out with a platform now. Not that I'm an advocate for Google by any stretch of the imagination, but they've come out with these professional certificates now. You guys should look them up, and certain skill sets that you could acquire with these certificates, and employers will take them because they come from Google. Like, I've been on LinkedIn researching these things to see if there was any legitimacy to it, or if it was just Google trying to make more money, or trying to get more of your information so they could sell it. The fact of the matter is, all of that is true, I think. And the certificates actually have a tangible, or they're tangible, and they can make a difference in your life. So I'm thinking about looking into maybe some data science certificate, which means I'm going to have to do math again. And the only thing I hate worse than my IBS and my digestive system is what was I getting ready to say? I forgot. I blanked. The only thing I hate worse than all that is whatever it was I was just talking about. Let me move on. But yeah, I will stay positive, and I will be moving around as the world starts to calm itself. 96. So, but thank you for making that comment. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Tim says, Anon, I'm rated for PTSD, so I'm cool. Fair enough. No worries, he says. Giovanni says, someone I know just had one J&J, and yeah, we try not to name the whole names either, but I guess it'll be all right this time. One J&J jab, no second, just one. So what they're looking for, if you've had the J&J, I think they're looking over here, they're looking for a booster to go with that. Like on your vaccine certificate, which I just got laminated, there's now room that the original one had 2 spaces for jabs. Now there's 3. So don't be surprised if boosters don't come into play here. Especially with the fight. I read specific information on the J&J jab itself, and it appears as though Thailand is going to require some type of booster with that jab. It appears that way. I'm not saying that is going to happen, but that's what the media is reporting. Again, it's the media, so you have to kind of be a little questioned of whether or not you want to believe them, but it is what it is. Pampon, hello, nice to see you again. Pampon, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I don't know if you're still in here or not, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Anon says, Tim, got it. Again, no offense. I've just seen folks who have seriously scammed the system. I still remember TAP when they told you how to scam the system. Oh, dude, when I was in the Philippines, there was an expat over there who claimed to be a corpsman and have a PhD in epidemiology, and it made just all kinds of radical claims about him being in the military and his rank and his schooling and all that stuff. Shit, a year after I left the Philippines, the Philippines and the expats, I call them the underground expats, the trolls of YouTube, the people that just don't that get joy out of making everybody else miserable, right? He's one of those people, and he was completely called out as a fraud. Then he got called for his he did not have a PhD, did not have nearly the combat experience that he proclaimed that he had, and was not the person that he said he was. In fact, he wound up having to go back to America and pay tens of thousands of dollars in back child support while he was over making babies in the Philippines. So yeah, that situation happens frequently, and I get your point, Anon, and I get Tim's too. Tim, if I were you, I wouldn't like to be questioned, and Anon, if I were you, I would second guess anybody who said that to me. So yeah, it is what it is, guys. Can you live on 1,240 baht per day? Should be able to, as long as everything else is paid for. Anon says, DoMoreLife regarding young Thai girls, old frank men, nobody really stares, but I've heard Thai women chatter between each other, not flattering to the young Thai girl. Very interesting. That's an interesting comment, Anon. Anon says, Pete, depends on how you want to live and where. It will be very difficult in Bangkok, Phuket. That's true. Richard says, is it possible to hire a trusted guide? I think you meant guide, right? Guild? For this first few weeks to learn the area and customs of the land. By the way, your accent of North Carolina seems to be Piedmont. Yeah, Piedmont, the Piedmont Triangle. That's it. Area, not that of WNC. Thanks for videos. You're welcome, Richard. And I don't know about finding a trusted guide. That would be something you would need to research. I'm not exactly sure how you would do that. I thought about setting up a company to do just that, to be a company for expats that people could like hire. And of course, I'd have to hire Thais, but we would bring the expat in, manage. Like an expat you would have to manage the paperwork and stuff of getting here, but once you got here, your first week or 2 weeks or whatever would be somebody from the business taking you around wherever you wanted to go in Thailand, and they could speak Thai, obviously, and do some translation for you, explain things to you, kind of show you a little bit about the culture. And I think that would just be a fantastic way to bring expats over here. I think it would be. Somebody says guides can be arranged. Now, it's my understanding that you can't own a tourism business or be a tour guide as an expat in Thailand. That's like in the rules. You can't be a tour guide. But can you own a business that provides tour services via Thais? I don't know. something I might have to check out and think about. We'll see. But that's a very good point, Richard. And a lot of people probably want to know that. So thank you for putting that up there. Feel free to watch as many binge watch DoMoreLife videos. That'll help some. And there's a lot of informative. I'm not tooting my own horn here or anything, because this channel is made by you guys, not by. You guys is the community of this channel is what keeps it going, frankly. And I love and thank all you guys for that. And it's really been it's been a journey. And if you watch my Thailand journey, which you can do on YouTube, you can watch my whole Thailand journey on YouTube. If you want, especially if you want to learn about Pattaya, I have tons of videos on Pattaya. I also have videos from many hot tourist spots around Thailand. Not all, because I haven't been to all of them yet. But there's a lot of information on this channel about Thailand. And there's going to be a lot less information about Thailand on this channel coming out, because this channel is DoMoreLife, not Do More Thailand. And the reason I'm sticking to the Thailand topics for now, I went over with the channel members yesterday. Don't get me wrong, fellas. I'm not giving up on bringing Thailand content or live stream content from Thailand. I'm just saying that the purpose when I created this channel was to experience doing more life. In other words, getting outside of my comfort zone and experiencing things, learning things. And I want to share that information with you guys as well. So in order to do that, starting November the 6th, I will be starting to put out content almost daily. And most of the content will be in YouTube Shorts. So there'll be 1-minute videos or less. There'll be updates about Thailand. There'll be things about life. We need to expand the channel viewership outside of just topics in Thailand in order for the channel to grow. And that's my plan. Also, I have plans on starting up 2 new channels. But that depends on how my internship goes. If my internship takes off and I get an actual paying job from the internship, then we'll have to reevaluate the channel here. But, it's something to keep in mind. Just something to keep in mind, something I want to tell you guys about. Research Triangle. That's it, Richard. And Quezon City in the Philippines. Thank you very much for correcting me. Thank you very much. That's around, 96, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, beautiful country in the Research Triangle. That's it. I'm a Tar Heel fan through and through. So I've been to the Dean Dome several times. Once for my high school championship basketball game. And I've been to a couple basketball games up there, Carolina basketball games. Love it. Mr. Y, very good to see you, sir. Thank you for being in here. He says inflation is legalized counterfeiting, and counterfeiting is criminalized inflation. Robert Breedlove. That is a very interesting quote, Mr. Y. And I like it. I was thinking it over for a second, but that is a very good quote. Mark T says, Jeremy, do you think expats will need the backs for long stay visa extensions? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's coming. My hope is that all of these mandates and these potential vaccine passports or these digital passes and all that stuff, my hope is that the people stand up and say, we're not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't have to, this is not, 19, this is not the 30s in Germany, right? I don't have to show you my papers. And I think that I hope people stand up, but I don't think they will. Look at me. I'm all about standing up for what you believe in, and yet I caved because I didn't want the hardships that come along with not caving. And I'll probably never forgive myself for that, especially if I have some kind of effects down the road from it, but what do you do? Oh, wow. Just got a PayPal from Mr. Lee. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that, bud. That's you doubled up. That's amazing, man. $25 PayPal from Mr. Lee. Thank you so much. And he says this is for the travel fund. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. And I have to cover up his last name, so let me show you the money. There you go. And then I'll show you that he says, can you see travel fund? Yep, travel fund. There you go. Appreciate you guys very much for that. That's another $25 in the pocket. Next week we have a 3-day weekend, so we get the travel fund up to about I was telling them yesterday about $150 to $200 between now and then. We got 70. Yeah, we had right at $70 yesterday after our fees and transfers and all that stuff. About $70. So, and that was yesterday that came in, and then 25 today. I'm missing something. I can't remember what I'm missing. Anyway, we're getting there. So I'm going to be traveling as much as possible. I promise. But again, time permitting, guys, you got to understand what's going on in my life, and the best way to do that is to become a channel member and watch the channel member videos. Okay. It's only $2.99 a month. It's the most incredible way to support the channel. It's the best way to get some extra content that you're not going to get anywhere else. It's also gives you access to our private line group, which is becoming more and more popular daily. We share some fantastic information in that line group, and there's always somebody there to answer some questions, and there's always good critical thinkers in there. Anon provides a lot of information in there. He has time to, and he keeps up with things like I do, but the difference is he has the time to do the more in-depth research, whereas I do not, unfortunately. So he provides a lot of information in there. Ross is in there. He provides a lot of information as well. Now, Ross did a different thing for you guys looking to get in channel in the line group that don't want to be a channel member, which, I would rather you be a channel member, honestly, because then it gives you more access to more stuff. But Ross came up with this on his own. Ross paid $250 to be a lifetime member of the line group, right? So he contributed by himself, was not asked to voluntarily. He set the price target. So if you want a lifetime member, and we all agreed this all happened during the live stream. So we all agreed that if you didn't want to be a channel member and you only wanted to be in the line group and you wanted a lifetime access to the line group, then that would be the price tag. So there you go. I know that's a lot of money, and I don't expect anybody else to do that. I'm just saying it's good. We have a lot of fun over there. Giovanni says he's laughing. He says, "I remember that guy, Jeremy. That was funny. Really, yeah. It was hilarious to watch him burn. I enjoyed it. To watch him get it, not to watch him burn. He didn't burn. He's fine. But to watch him get called out for the liar and the manipulator that he was, it was just wonderful. Best feeling in the world." Richard says, "Hey, are you in Pattaya, Thailand now? When is rainy season there?" No, I'm not in Pattaya right now. I live in Bangkok. I may be living in Pattaya at some point. I don't know. I'm in Bangkok, but rainy season usually wraps up here around in the November-ish window. In that November-December window is usually when it wraps up. It just depends. You never can call the last day of rainy season. We tried to do that before. Wow, we're up to 35 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate that. But yeah, so the rainy season's here is going to end, November-ish, December-ish, right in that time frame. And that's why, January, February be a great time to come. And Mike had a good point from Live My Ass Off. His comment about the fireworks festival in Pattaya. Hey, if you want to come for that, come. We should have more by then. We should have more easing of restrictions by that time. So that's pretty cool. Anon says, public. See, the Ministry of Public Health just put 10 provinces on their watch list to possibly lock down. You see? You see? In the hour and 50 minutes I've had this, been having this live stream, and breaking news right there. The Ministry of Public Health puts 10 provinces on their watch list. That's how fast they can change over here, guys. Living proof right there. That notification just popped up. I'll show it to you. And this is the Thai media. Okay, this is from the Tiger. I get notifications from them. I'm going to show it to you. Right? I'm not going to read the article, but I'll show you that the article exists if it'll show up. The Krabi tourism businesses were not very happy about Thailand's reopening, I think because they're not ready. Here is, I'm going to go ahead and go through this article with you because I feel like you guys need to know it. Look, 10 provinces on Ministry of Public Health's watch list. And let's see. There's been surges in infections. According to them, 10 provinces to its watch list to be closely monitored. 4 in the deep south provinces, which are where most of the schools I teach are. Narathiwat, Pattani, Songkhla, and Yala, all 4 of those provinces are where I teach schools, were added to the list, as well as Chanthaburi, Nakhon Ratchasima, Nakhon Si Thammarat, Ratchaburi, Rayong, and Tak. Very interesting. Rayong, Ross, did you hear that? While some provinces have already implemented, quoting from Tiger here, while some provinces have already implemented their own tighter safety measures, the ministry will attack the surge by increasing rapid testing, pushing jab programs, and creating a containment plan to stop the spread. Okay. More FUD. Anyway, Richard said, no, Anna says Mark T, not Jeremy, but I have heard nothing about that for extensions. I wouldn't be surprised if there gets to be an absolute requirement to get here, but once you're here, yeah, I feel like Thailand's going to implement it for long stayers at some point, Anon. That's just my feeling. Just my feeling. I have no evidence to back that up. I just feel like it's something that will happen. Lyle wants a tour guide. So do I. I want a Thai tour guide. A female Thai tour guide. That would be nice. I'm just kidding. I have a girlfriend, guys. I'm just kidding. Brett Ford, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. Glad you were here, bro. Roy, good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a long time. Yes, Russell Crowe is getting a lot of attention right now because he's in Phuket at the moment. Definitely good for Thai media to announce that. There was pictures of him and Zac Efron in Phuket yesterday. I saw that this morning. That was awesome. Let's see here. Anon says, Richard, look up It's Thai Things on YouTube for a guide. Also, Man Smile in Bangkok. Okay, fair enough. Giovanni says, yeah, showing people there is another life out there and just experience more, basically do more life. Exactly. That's what the channel is supposed to be about. And it because of the lockdown and the situation that went on, I didn't have anything else to talk about other than the situation in Thailand. And that's what I've been talking about basically for 18 months. So now I can get back on track to talking about positive stuff, life stuff, things I learned over the past 18 months or 2 years of going through this situation. I think I'm going to be providing some good information for you guys, especially those of you that are new to the channel. I encourage you to hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification and make sure you select all so that you get every video that I'm going to put out, because from now until November the 6th, I'm still going to be putting out. The vast majority is going to be Thailand related content, because there's going to be a lot happening between now and then in my life, and also in Thailand's foundational future. So I'm going to need to pass that information along to you guys. 96 says, what pushed you out if your comfort zone in the last week? Your personal growth is a big inspiration for many people. Outside of my comfort zone in the last week, 96, great question. I try to get outside of my comfort zone as much as possible. Last week, I did two things that were outside of my comfort zone. One was I started to learn about the actual, like, I know enough about how not to get in trouble with the IRS, but I really learned some very valuable information about taxes on assets, right? I'd never done that before. Way outside of my comfort zone, completely clueless, and I was happy. The other thing I did last week was try, all right, there's two forms of natural medication that I've been experimenting with here in Thailand, under doctor supervision, of course. And one of them, I never thought I would be able to take, and I've taken it. I've had no side effects, and it has worked miracles for my, I mean, I told the guys yesterday, if you look at me, there are no bags under my eyes anymore. I mean, there are no, I used to get on here in the dark circle, run all the way out here, you know, from not sleeping and just working. I work 7 days a week. I still work 7 days a week. So it's, I've been doing it for, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years now. Pretty much the whole time I've been in Thailand. So for me, that was outside my comfort zone. I wasn't comfortable with the doctor's orders, but I followed them, and turns out that we found a solution. I think now it's just a matter of affording the medication, which I've talked to. We talked about that yesterday a little bit. I won't go back into all of it, but we talked about it some. And the success that I've had with that has really brought me outside my comfort zone. Now this week, I need to find something to do to take me way outside of my comfort zone, because I haven't been way outside in a long time. And that will probably be using what money we've collected for the travel fund to travel somewhere as soon as possible. That's kind of what I'm thinking my next step in the comfort zone will be, because nothing grows, and 96, I'm sure you know this, but nothing grows inside of a comfort zone. You can't grow inside your comfort zone. Nothing grows on a box. Okay, you can't plant a seed in a box, put dirt in there, and expect the tree to grow, because it's never going to get any sunlight. You have to get outside the box, outside of your box, outside of your comfort zone. If you're ever going to grow, that's what you have to do. And I mean, if you want to talk about things I've done to push me outside my comfort zone over the last few months, then you can, we can go down a whole list of things. When I got partially furloughed, I told the channel about it. The channel took care of me. I got a little help from my family back in America, and they, you know, that I'm forever grateful for that. But getting outside of my comfort zone during that time was very difficult, because I was so concerned about money. And I had to learn how to live below my means. That was a big step outside my comfort zone. Learning how to live frugally is good. I'll just say that. I feel like it's a good thing. Tim says, well, folks, I got to go. See you all later. Take care. Bye. All right, Tim, we'll see you, buddy. Giovanni says, take care, Tim. And I'm saying about Tim. Roy says, Montelli, that's great news about time. Roger Ronaldo says, hi, mate. What are your thoughts on education visa for a first-time visitor to Thailand? Sure, if you want to learn Thai. They've gotten really tight on the education visas, so you really need to do a lot of preparation for an education visa. That used to be your ticket into Thailand, but now you would probably, if you want to do any kind of work while you're in Thailand, I would suggest coming on a real volunteer visa and getting a real volunteer, getting with a real volunteer organization, because if you're on a volunteer visa, you have to have a work permit with that. And if you have a work permit here in Thailand and you're on a non-immigrant visa, which you will be, no matter what kind of visa you get, unless you just somehow are able to get permanent residency or something, you'll be on a non-immigrant visa. But with a work permit, you can it opens up a lot more doors here in Thailand. Just living here on a tourist visa would be fun, or on a retirement visa, or on like an elite visa would be fun if you're very, very wealthy and don't have to worry about making money. If you have money coming in and it's going to keep coming in forever, or you got plenty of money in a bank and you don't have to worry about anything, that would be a good way to go. But that work permit allows you to do things legally here in Thailand. It is what it is. Giovanni says it changes quick. That's true. Where is Udon Thani? That's in the north, in Isan. And yep, Asian script says Udon Thani is in Isan in the northeast. That's correct. Montelli says, Roy, it was a spur of the moment decision. Same here, Steve. But one that had to be made. I don't feel good about it. I didn't either. I still don't. But I'll feel worse sitting here and rusting. 100% agree. I didn't want my options to be limited, and that's why I did what I did too. Anon says, note that all 10 provinces listed are deep red already, so they are planning to do a neon bright red category for the super. I'm going to remove that just because I don't want to get any feedback. I don't want to get any I won't get any pushback on that comment, but that's a good one, Anon. I like that. Richard says, when lockdown occurred, and if you were in a hotel that had a restaurant, would it be open for room service only? If no, it depended on if you were in quarantine or not, I think. If you were in a hotel and the lockdown occurred, you could at least order food from like Grab or a service like that. You can order food here without problems. How would one get food? Well, there you go. How would one get food in a hotel room? That's how you order by delivery, and they'll bring it to you. Midnight here says, Lee, good night. Lee, thank you for your monetary contribution. I really appreciate it, brother, so much. I really do. Thank you for always being a good positive light for DoMoreLife, and appreciate you were one of the few people with a red channel member signature, which means you've been a channel member for a very long time, and I appreciate that. Giovanni says, yeah, I was frugal at university, was working 3 jobs. Woof, wow. That's what I'm doing now, and trying to be frugal. Richard's, I read that. And Richard Beener, they allow Grab Food, Food Panda deliveries when you're in queue. That's true. Giovanni says, thanks, Asia Unscripted. From small acorns grow great oak trees. I love that. Giovanni says, yep, I was frugal at University 3, working 3 jobs. Yep, there you go. And you probably came out on the better side of the way you started because you were frugal. Anon says to me and at Richard, I had to come up to Bangkok while still under full complete lockdown, and delivery services / room service was the way it went. Good deal. Good info, Anon. And I've been sitting here running my mouth for 2 hours, guys, and it feels like I just got started. So, man, my health is improving. And I love it because I feel so much better than I used to. Just got to find a way to maintain this somehow. It's nice to feel good and to feel healthy. I tell you, it really is. So we'll see what happens this 3-day weekend. We'll see what comes in, and maybe I go somewhere, maybe I don't know. He says, Giovanni's laughing, says, keep going. No, I'm I'm going to close it down. I want to thank you guys for all the likes. If you hadn't hit the like button yet, please do so. We're almost at 40. I would love to get 40. That would be great. While we're having a live stream. Whatever. Listen, let me just say this real quick. Monetary donation. Never do I call it a donation. Really, when you contribute to this channel, you're kind of investing in the channel itself and the content and the growth of it. So it's always a contribution. It's never a donation. I don't ask people for handouts. In fact, I don't ask for anything. I just give you away if you want to contribute that you can. So, with that being said, if you have monetarily contributed to this channel, just know that much love and appreciation, and much of the content that people get to see on this channel is because of your contributions. So, you know, I'm forever in debt to you guys, and a lot of gratitude goes out for your help for that. So thank you for that. Also, I want to thank my moderators for doing an excellent job of keeping the chat very nice and organized today. Great job, guys. I want to thank all my channel members for being channel members. You guys rock, and I look forward to seeing you all in the line group. Please keep in mind, if you try to contact me the rest of the day today, I'm going to be extremely busy after this live stream. So I may or may not be able to respond to you. I know usually after live streams and after videos come out and stuff, I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of text messages. So, you know, have to be careful. Richard, yes, if you jailbreak them. That's all I'm going to say about that. You need somebody that knows how to unlock them. So if you can get that, but then you have to update them every time an update comes out. It gets annoying. I don't use mine anymore. I just have the computer, and I have YouTube that I watch, and I debated for a long, long time. I didn't have a Netflix subscription for many, well, I should say for a long time here in Thailand. And during the lockdown, I got a Netflix subscription, and I have found that if I take 1 hour before I go to bed and watch one episode of a series, or I watch one hour of a movie or something to catch the rest of it the next day, that kind of thing. Do you know that in and of itself has helped me almost as much as the doctors here in Thailand? Just taking that hour to unwind before I try to go to sleep I've given myself an hour. I've said, okay, Jeremy, you have busted your ass for so long here trying to make things work, and they will work. They are working. Give yourself an hour a day just for you, just 1 hour just for you. And I do that every day, and I will do it today. And the best time to do that is right before I go to bed. And as you guys know, I'm pretty early. I go to bed fairly early, or around no later than 10 p.m. So, you know, it's a wonderful, it's a good life here. I just hadn't met all my goals yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And says, Richard, Charles says you can use a VPN, and you can definitely use a VPN to go back and get your American TV shows and all that stuff. That's certainly possible. I use VPN all the time. Anon says, Richard, geolock content, but you need to use a VPN app on them. Yep, Chrome Stick works for US sites as long as I have Nord running on the Chrome Stick. Yep, it'll work. 100%. So I hope that answers your questions. And I just want to thank everybody that contributed to the live stream in any way. If you said anything, made a comment, whether it was good, bad, got deleted, or didn't, I appreciate the dialogue, and I appreciate very much the I very much appreciate this live stream today. We've had a good one. There's a lot of information. I really hope people understand what's going on here, and I hope that everybody walks away from this live stream happy. If you have questions, comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Good night, all. Good, Mr. Charles White. Good night to you. Everybody else, have a wonderful day, weekend, evening, wherever you are in the world. Do your thing, and be sure, whatever you do more life. I love you guys, and I will see you at the latest this coming weekend. But look for some YouTube shorts this week. Later, guys.